Okay, first thing, wanted to tell you that July 1st, Friday, and July 2nd, Saturday, I'm kicking off the second half of the year in Kansas City. I know they have the Hollywood, Kansas Speedway on the Kansas side and Harrah's, North Kansas City on the Missouri side. I drove through once, went to both in the same night. That is the only time I play poker down there, but I'm going to spend 2 days kind of break up the rest of my Council Bluffs day. So look forward to videos from the Speedway and from Harrah's down there. But I wanted to mention two really bad dealer mistakes. I saw both of them, not the same day, but both of them at the Horseshoe Council Bluffs. This was fall 2020. The first one, the most misdeals I ever saw consecutively, that's 3. Plenty often we see 1. I'm not even sure if I've ever seen 2 in a row. Maybe. This is the only time we've seen 3. First one, everyone gets dealt their cards and somehow the small blind got a 3rd card. It was either the last card, like the dealer didn't know exactly where the button was and thought the small blind was the button, so she dealt everyone 2 and then dealt the small blind the last card thinking small blind was actually dealer, or maybe 2 came off at the same time. We've seen that before. So that was the first misdeal. We had a reshuffle, there was no action yet. The dealer reshuffles, and the rule is if a card flips you could replace it. Most places the rule is unless it's the first 2. That's just a reshuffle. So we had that first misdeal, then she's dealing the cards again. First card off the deck flips face up. So we had to do it again. She shuffles again, and while she's shuffling for this 3rd deal, the guy in the 6, we were 8-handed. The guy in the 6th seat says, "Can you deal me into the 1?" The 1 seat was open, he wants to move. He says, "Can you deal me into the 1?" And the dealer says, "Okay." In her defense for this one, the guy in the 6 made absolutely no effort to get a chip rack, to stand up, to do anything. He just sat there as if he didn't say it. So she deals, the 1 seat is under the gun. She deals him into the 1, but when she gets around to the 6, he hasn't moved. So she dealt him into the 1 and the 6. And as soon as everyone had 2 cards, we realized that. 3 misdeals in a row, Horseshoe Baltimore. The next one was a classic. So there's a lot of things that happen. I see them as they're happening, and I prevent it from getting that bad. Every once in a while, I look away from the table for like 3 seconds and a disaster happens. This was one of those times. So we're playing, pre-flop action is done, I'm not in the hand, the flop comes out. The dealer puts the flop out. There's 3 cards in the middle of the table, face up. We call it the flop. It's out there. The dealer, as he pulls in like the last guy to fold from the right side of the table with his right hand, as he pulls those fold cards into the muck, they hit the rightmost card on the flop. That card turns face down and he pulls that into the muck. So there's only 2 cards out there now, which is not a big deal if you know what card it was. The dealer who was looking when he put that card out, when he put the flop out, he doesn't know. The guy in the small blind, he called some bet pre-flop, either a raise or he just called the big blind pre-flop. He had chips in his hand. His hand was moving forward to bet the flop. We asked him, what card was it? He doesn't know. He was betting that flop and he doesn't know what card it was. I looked away for a few seconds, otherwise of course I would know. I knew this would take forever. The floor came over, I was still here for that. He hears everything, he's gonna have to go to surveillance. There's no way to like redo this. We're too deep in the hand to just like not have this hand happen. If you've ever been to the Horseshoe Baltimore, you know how long this would take. I left the room, I walked all the way to like the back corner on the 2nd floor, poker room's on the 2nd floor. That's where the escalator is. I went down, I wound up near the pizza place in the food court. I walked all the way across the casino floor to the other end, past the sports book, the horse track area, through the slot machines, all the way to the other end, took the escalator up on the other side of the casino floor, got back to the 2nd floor, and then walked all the way back through the slot machines, through the security area when you walk in and they check your ID and bag and everything, past the main cage, back to the poker room. That took a while, like 5-6 minutes. As soon as I get back, they had just gotten word from surveillance what card it was, and the guy in the small blind was betting again. It was great that I managed to leave the perfect amount of time for all that, but that's how long it took. I knew it was going to take forever. That is like a really bad mistake for it to turn and not notice. So those were two really bad. It's amazing that that happened. Those were two terrible, terrible dealer mistakes. A little funny if you're playing at the table when these things happen. Not so funny for all this time to be wasted.